Confidence and consistency go hand in hand. When we consistently show up, then we're more likely to feel confident. And when we're confident, we're more likely to show up because we have confidence in our ability to achieve our goals. Today, we're going to talk about this combination, this relationship between consistency and confidence, and talk about how we can use consistency to build our confidence. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. I'm so excited that you are here on day number 20 of my 100-day walk to consistency. We are working on building a better version of ourselves. I'm glad that you are here to join me. We're trying to be more consistent, a better version, a more consistent version, a more successful version of ourselves. I'll see you on the walk. Let's get started. What is confidence? Confidence is the belief in your abilities, that you are able to do something, or if you don't currently have the skills to do something, you have the ability to find the resources to bring to bear to be successful in a particular area. I remember when I started medical school, and in medical school, the amount of information that we had to learn was incredible. When I say incredible, it was a lot of stuff that we had to learn. And so there is the tendency during the start of something new for us to lack confidence in our abilities. And so it took time to be able to go through all of that material and become confident in my ability to wrap my mind around some of the concepts, and even in my ability to be able to go through and organize all that information. When I started residency, after going through medical school, after learning all of that, then I had to build confidence in my ability to be on the floors now as the guy with the medical degree and be taking care of patients. When I finished residency, I became the chief resident of my program, and I had to build confidence in my ability to be in charge of the residents there, to organize their schedules, to be able to take care of patients in the midst of all of that. And then when I started fellowship, I had to build confidence in my ability to be an endocrinologist. So at each stage, confidence comes as my abilities improved, and my abilities improved as I remain consistent. So confidence is that belief in your ability to do something. And then consistency is showing up on a regular basis. I'm going to say, despite things that may say, hey, you don't have to be consistent today. For example, this morning, you saw we started out and it was overcast, and right now the rain is coming down. And of course, I did not anticipate it starting so soon, and so I didn't put on my little parker. But we're gonna do this, right? We're consistently showing up in this space because consistency says, hey, things may not be exactly as I planned, but we learned about resilience and we learned about flexibility, and consistency says, hey, I'm gonna show up and do the things I need to do despite my circumstances, okay? So when we talk about consistency, the question is, how does consistency build confidence? How does consistency build confidence? Well, consistency builds confidence because small wins build our confidence. When we have small wins, then that says that we are able to achieve, that we're able to do something, and we are able to get a result. So those small wins that we have begin to build our belief in our abilities. Now, each time you do something, remember neuroplasticity says that each time you do something, then that adds another support for those neurons that are making that connection. And so each time you show up and you have a small win, then that builds your confidence, and your body, your brain, your mind says, I am someone that has success, that I am able to do the things I need to do to get a result. So small wins will cause you to build your confidence and become more believable, becomes more believable in yourself. And then repetitive motions reinforce, or repetitive behaviors reinforce your belief. So the belief is that I am successful, that I am able to achieve the thing I set my mind to. I am able to bring to bear resources. I'm able to find information. I'm able to determine my destiny. I can make choices that set me up for success. And then consistency or confidence helps to break through fears. Remember, fears of failure, fear of not meeting up, fear of what people will say, fear of the past, fear, and I mean, there's so many fears that we can go through. But when we are confident, then that confidence breaks through those fears, and it helps us to do the things we need to do in order to continue to be successful. How does confidence fuel consistency? Right? So consistency, confidence. Remember that consistency, confidence cycle. Well, consistency fuels confidence, or confidence fuels consistency, because it makes it easier to take action. When you are confident, have you ever seen someone who all of a sudden develops confidence in their ability in a certain area, or their ability to do something? So they walk differently. There is a book that we used to read when I forgot what grade I was in, but it says clothes make the man. Clothes make the man. That was the idea. It wasn't the name of the book, but and the whole idea was that if you put on a certain clothes, if you put on a certain look, if you put on a certain persona, then that is the story that you're telling, and that story then becomes what you do, right? Remember, we're creating an environment, we're creating in our minds, we're creating in our existence the story that we want. And so when we are confident, then confidence makes us walk differently. It makes us talk differently. It makes us interact with other people differently. And so we no longer are kind of sheepish with, with nothing to say, even though we do have something to say, but we're afraid of what other people will say about it. We no longer sit in that space. We are now moving, we're now walking in a space that says, hey, I'm confident. And when we do that, when we can walk in that space, then consistency improves. So confidence eliminates self-doubt. Now, there is a lot of imposter syndrome. There's a lot of, hey, I can't do this, I can't do that, I don't have the ability. Now, one of the beautiful things, and I'm trying to teach my son this, is that there are abilities that many of us don't have. Like, we are not skilled in certain things. But one of the great things about education is that education is supposed to teach us how to evaluate, how to find resources, how to find the information that we need to do other things. So it's not about that problem that you worked or that problem that you solved. It's not about that idea that you developed or wrote about or talked about. It's about the fact that you're able to assimilate information, you're able to gather data, and you're able to make decisions. And so when we talk about confidence, confidence helps. When we talk about confidence eliminates our doubt, so that we now know that we have the ability to do, or to find, or to arrange, or to coordinate, or to organize, or to manage. Right? So notice what happens is that it eliminates the doubt, because we're confident in our ability, even if we don't have that skill, our ability to get that skill. Right? So that's how confidence fuels consistency. Confidence fuels consistency. And it's starting to come down here pretty good. But hey, guess what? Here we are. We are consistent. Let me do something here with me going into this tree for a minute. So, what is this consistency confidence cycle? And this is the idea that the more you show up, the more consistent you are, the more confident you become. And the more confident you become, the more you show up and the more consistent you are. So notice the feedback, right? We've said that so many things in our feedback loops. So the more you show up for the walk, the more you show up for the exercise, the more you show up in that space where you're making changes in your diet, the more you show up in managing those blood sugars, the more you show up, the more confident you become. All right, so we are back, and it's not it's not raining right now. It's a little overcast, but hey, we do what we got to do. Consistency, right? So we're talking about kind of this looping idea that happens between consistency and confidence. So when you are consistent, every time you show up, you're casting a vote for that person that you are telling yourself that you are. Every time you show up, every time you do it, every time you dig in, every time you do it again, what you're saying is that I'm building a peg. I'm giving support to that inner coach to support this guy, this gal, this person that I'm saying that I'm creating. So it's a vote. And the more votes you get, the more confident you become. And the more confident you become, because now you are putting a success peg, you're putting a star, you're putting a trophy, you're putting a ribbon in that says that this is who I am, this is what I do, this is how I roll. And so every time you do that, you become more confident. And when you become more confident, then you want to show up and be more consistent. Right? So they just feed on each other. And that is the beauty of this confidence, consistency feedback loop, because it is a, kind of like that perpetual motion machine, right? So one thing starts and then it hits another, and then it hits another, and hits another, and hits another, and it continues going back and forth. One of the things that always fascinates me are those, when you go to someone's office, sometimes they'll have on their desk the pendulum balls, right? So you hit one, and it hits the other, and it comes back and back and back, and it goes back and forth. And that is
time 27 minutes 21 seconds. Total distance 1.0 miles. Average pace 27 minutes 20 seconds per mile. Split pace 27 minutes 20 seconds per mile.
So my device just kept going. So those that pendulum balls, and they keep bouncing into each other, and they create momentum in each other. One hits the other, and it takes that momentum and comes back and hits the one that hits it, and it back and forth, back and forth. And so that's what happens between consistency and confidence. So so that's the idea, right? So we want to begin building that. So how do we build confidence through consistency? And it goes back to some of the principles, right? So start small. So anything that you're going to do, you want to make sure that you're setting yourself up for the highest possibility of success. And that comes when you break what you're doing up into small chunks that are manageable, chunks that allow you to be the highest possibility of being consistent. And every time you have something that works, then that puts another peg, and that builds the confidence, right? You start small and you go through the process. Remember, the success that a lot of people have has nothing to do with how smart they are or how much necessarily talent that they have. It has to do with consistency. And so our goal is, yes, you may have talent. I want you to have talent. If you have talent, amazing. But I want you to have consistency, right? So talent without consistency can go so far. But give me somebody who doesn't even have talent, but they're consistent, that teachable, that listens, that implements, oh man, that's somebody that we can do something with. Okay? So you want to start small and you build momentum. Just like that pendulum ball, every time it hits each other, then we get a little bit more momentum. So as you are showing up, as you're being consistent, each time you're consistent, each time you show up, each time you do it, then that adds to your momentum, okay? And that builds in the other. The other thing is keep a success journal. Keep a success journal. This one I can't emphasize enough. You know, we've talked a lot in this space about recording and journaling and documenting. And some still a little breezy right here. And so in the space of consistency and confidence, remember that inner coach needs to have support, because the inner critic is going to right, the inner critic is going to always try to remember those things that we did that are not good, or the things where we failed, the times when we didn't succeed, the times when we didn't do all the things that we said we're going to do. And so what we want to do is we want to give that inner coach more fuel, more ammunition to say, no, yes, we do this, we succeed, right? That's what we do, that's how we roll, that's how we work. And so in order for that to happen, in order for us to do that, we've got to journal. And we want you to keep a success journal, because the success journal is a way of documenting those things that are working. You want to get in there, and what you're going to do is put the date and the thing that happened, right? What chunk, what milestone have I reached? What success have I had? So that we can then add that to our memory banks. Because the things that you did wrong, like I said, you're going to remember those. But the things that are positive, the times when you did succeed, the times when you did have benefit, those times are going to be more difficult. And so we want to make sure that we're recording them so we can always refer back to them. So keep a success journal. And then we talk about celebrating, right? Celebrate. you know that principle is coming back again, right? Celebrate the small wins. When you have some success, when you make some progress, when you have hit a milestone, don't just let it go by. There are so many things in my life that I have done that didn't work out, and many things that I did that did work out. But I spent a lot of time actually thinking about the things that didn't work out, right? So that's what we do. We kind of perseverate over the times when things didn't go well, the things didn't go the way we thought they were going to go. And it's almost like we're celebrating those. But when we have those positives, it's like, oh, this is not a big deal. Well, it is a big deal, because it is something that you did that was positive, some place that you succeeded, and you want to make sure that you notate that, you note it. Say, hey, this is a big deal. Put a star on your calendar. Put a note in your journal. Put a have somebody give a call, right? Call somebody up and say, hey, this just happened. Okay? So you're not boasting. You're not thinking more of yourself. You are building up yourself. You're celebrating places where you're being successful. Okay? And then with all of that, you have to learn how to reframe. You know, we talked about this already, right? And here it comes again. Reframing. If you are able to successfully reframe the ideas, reframe how things are, reframe whatever's going on, then you are more confident in your abilities. This is not me failing, but this is an opportunity for me to learn, opportunity for me to change, opportunity for me to pivot, to become more resilient, for me to move in a different direction, for me to understand that things don't always work out the way I plan, but that doesn't mean that I can't succeed. Okay? So reframe. When we reframe, we're able to rewrite that story in a way that gives our brain an environment for success. When we're able to reframe, think of this as an opportunity, a way of learning, a way of changing, a way of adapting, a way of being more resilient. Once again, every little peg that we put into the process is a way of giving us energy, is a way of helping us know that we can succeed. Okay, so reframe that as an opportunity to learn, and not just as a way or something that we did not do well. If you miss a day, all right, so we're doing 100-day walk to consistency. If you miss a day, that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. That doesn't mean that you are somehow corrupt. If you miss a day, well, what was the reason for missing the day? What happened that caused me to miss that day? And how do I now set myself up to correct whatever that was so that I can continue to be more successful, continue to move in that direction that gives me the positives that I need. Okay, so we're reframing. We're looking at the things that happen and making a decision that we're gonna keep going forward. All right. As you guys see, it's windy, and I feel a couple of drops. Feel a couple of drops coming down, but not as much as we were before. It's actually a pretty nice day. It's cool. Usually the sun is blazing, but this is a nice day. I had to go back to the house, as you guys saw a little while ago, and come back out to get this all going. So consistency, and confidence. So that's the process. Remember the cycle. The cycle is that consistency, showing up, builds confidence because you're putting a vote in for the person that you're working to become, or the person that you are, the story that you're telling yourself. And every time you build, put another piece in that peg, or another peg in that puzzle, another piece there, another brick you're laying, then you become more confident. The more confident you become, the more consistent you want to be. The more consistent you are, the more confident you become. So notice the feedback. All right. So we can't leave without talking about our challenge for today, right? So our challenge for today is this. I want you to set a small, achievable goal for today. What is it going to be? My goal was that we're going to get this video, right? So we're having storms, but I'm like, no. We're getting this video. And I could have gone and done this on the elliptical, right, which we have at the house. But I said, no, we're coming out. So this was my goal. This was my goal for today, right? So set a small goal for today, and then take consistent actions towards that goal. So I got up this morning and I got my stuff ready. I looked outside, and I'll tell you guys that I was tempted. To say, no, I'm not going out right now. But I came out and actually had fun, right? Had fun talking to you. And you got to see real life. You got to see what it's like when it's raining. All right, so take small, consistent steps towards that goal, no matter how small they are. Okay, no matter how small they are. I didn't know how long the rain was going to hold up. I didn't expect it to come as fast as it did, but it did. but small, consistent steps, right? No matter how small they are, you want to make sure that you're doing that. And then you want to celebrate your win. So right now I'm celebrating because I went in, I had to pause, but I came back out. And look at this, right? So we're getting this done. So I'm celebrating with you. I want you to celebrate with me as I talk, because this is a win. This is a win for me. This is a win for you, because it's a perfect example of real life in action, right? Real life in action. So set a goal, set a small goal, small achievable goal. Take consistent steps towards that goal, and then celebrate it. And then document it, right? So this video is my documentation. When I get home, I'm gonna get in my journal and I'm gonna write this down, right? Successfully completed day number 20 video, right? That is awesome. That's amazing. That's what we wanna do. Consistency is your key. And when you have confidence helps to build your consistency. Awesome. So confidence and consistency are an awesome, amazing combination. They're a powerful combination. As you take action to be consistent, then you become more confident. As you become more confident, then you have the power to be, and the desire to be more consistent. That feedback loop is amazing, and you have the ability to initiate that feedback loop, just like on the desk of that person with the pendulum balls. You get to initiate the first ball. You get to pull it up, and as you do that, then it hits into the other, and then it comes on back, and the energy from one goes back and forth to the other one. So consistency and confidence, an amazing combination that sets you up for success. Hey, I'm so glad that you joined me. So glad that you were here on this journey of building, of consistency, of setting ourselves up for success. I want to encourage you that you get in there and you work the challenges. Don't let these just kind of go by. Make sure you're doing the challenges. Make sure you're doing the worksheets that go with this, because as you complete those, you are actually creating a manual that sets you up for success. When you're done, you're gonna have a manual, and that manual will be something you can use and apply to lots of different areas. So thank you for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow in our 100-day walk for consistency. I'll see you on the trail. All right, everybody.